Points. Hello, and welcome to another episode of the Broad Points Podcast. I am your host, the broad that points, the broad with the points. It's me, Tyler, the lady. Welcome to episode 35 of the Broad Points Podcast here. And just like when I started this podcast, I'm going to tell you guys, try something new. Yeah. Get outside of your comfort zone from time to time. Don't be afraid to try something new, to step outside of your comfort zone, to think outside of the box, and just try something different. I think it's so easy to get wrapped up in a routine or a habit, and whether that be conscious or not, and to really just let that kind of take our lives away, just that becomes our lives, is whatever that routine is. And if you're not enjoying the results, the output, right, that is being achieved by your current actions, I'm here to tell you that you can try something new and potentially gain some new results. To break the cycle, we do have to be willing to try new things, to really think in different ways, and just if you want to see the change, you guys, you really do have to be the change. And so trying something new is a great way to see, one, if you like this new thing, and to two, just break the cycle, break the routine. And I don't know about you, but I was feeling a lot of, we'll call it stagnant energy. I was just feeling really stuck. And it was the perfect time, for me to try something new. And with this specific podcast, we're going to get into it, but I started time-lapsing my paintings. And so I've been posting a lot of those, but I'm really getting a lot of enjoyment out of it. I can just see some of these blank canvases and how large they are, and I'm just like, oh my gosh, I don't want to do that. That's going to take forever, or that's going to take so much paint. And the overwhelm, right, of how many things must be done in order for a thing to be complete can be absolutely crippling. I'm here to tell you, I have experienced it. It is okay if you have experienced it too. We're all just learning here on this journey on this planet. And so, giving yourself the grace to learn something new, to step outside of your comfort zone, it just leads down different paths. It opens up different doorways. And that's really what I'm all about here, is just, making forward progress and achieving goals. And so for me, it was trying something new, and I've been trying a lot of different things, that are new. Another thing that's coming up for me in this moment is the idea of doing versus having. Me personally, I grew up loving to shop. We didn't even have to buy anything, but just to go out and walk around the store and just see all of the cool things that were out there in the world. I loved shopping. And so buying things, having things became a part of me that really just, it doesn't sit well with me. When I have too much stuff of anything, I really do start to feel like a hoarder, and my mental space starts to feel bogged down. And so with, our upcoming trip to London and Europe just in general that we have planned for later this year, I have switched my mentality, from having to doing. Right? Because now I'm saving money and I'm holding on to this money, and I am in a way having money in this moment, but I'm saving it so that I can be doing something with it later. I'm going to be experiencing new cuisines, new cultures. I love travel. I'm so excited for this trip. And so I'm trying something new. I'm saving money. Instead of having things, instead of going out and always, needing to see what's out there or wanting to get more things, I just am doing things. I'm going to shows. I'm making paintings, there's just so many things that when we're not obsessed with having, we can be doing. With that, let's jump into the fundamental phrase for the week. Try this one on, you guys. This one, I just love this one so much, and it pairs so well with the paintings that I've been doing lately. So this week's fundamental phrase is stop and watch the clouds. Yeah. Stop and just watch the clouds. If there are clouds. I know some days it's really sunny and there's no clouds at all, but just stop and just stare at the sky, stare at the grass, stare at anything. Just stop and just stare and just allow yourself to get lost in it. There are so many times when we're just running around and just really losing our minds, honestly, with how much stuff that we have on our plates and on our agenda that we need to get done in a day. It can truly feel overwhelming, and taking the time to stop and smell the roses, stop and watch the clouds, it really is just giving you time to be one with the world around you, right? How often is it that we lose connection because we're not even connecting with the planet that we're on, the ground that we're walking on? By taking the time to pause, we're able to intake all of the gifts that this world has to offer us. And I just love clouds so much. Clouds are one of my favorite things to watch. I don't know if you guys ever did you guys do the thing where you would lay on the ground and then try and decide what the clouds looked like? That cloud looks like a giraffe, or that cloud looks like a turtle. That is one of my favorite games. Even just on a windy day to watch the clouds go by. I love clouds. I love them in all of their shapes and forms. It doesn't matter if they're storm clouds or if they're, Bob Ross happy clouds, just flying through the atmosphere. Clouds they have a very happy, special place in my heart. And so I've been painting a lot of clouds and mountains. And like I said before, I've been time-lapsing them, which for me, I feel like I started doing as a form of accountability. After last year, I'll be honest, there was a piece, I started the one day, didn't touch it for 10 months, and then I got it done in 9 days. And after I did that all in 9 days, finishing that giant piece after not touching it for 10 months, I really decided that I want to just get the things done that I want to do. I don't want there to be some long break in between when I need to go back and try and figure out where I was and now it's a new style. No, I just want to get it done. And so, rather than spending my whole life on one piece, I just want to do more. I want to have, this is how this one is supposed to be. This is just, very relaxed about it, very flow with my paintings these days. I'm not trying to get the exact thing. I'm not trying to get the exact edges on this mountain. It has to be perfect. I'm not trying to mirror my surroundings. It's all just from within me. And honestly, when I'm painting mountains and clouds, I really enjoy it a lot because I get to shake my hand a lot. So when, you play Jenga and your hand's all shaky, if you have Parkinson's, I'm sorry, but I joke about having Parkinson's because my hands will get all shaky sometimes. And so when you're painting clouds and mountains, there's so much freedom in them. There are so many different types of mountains and clouds out in the world, and colors and shapes and sizes. And so you can just have the freedom. Your hand can shake, your whole arm can shake. I was dancing when I was painting. I listen to all different sorts of music, and I love it. I love it so much. And so I'm really happy to share the time lapses with you guys because it's also a reminder that although things may seem cumbersome in the moment, it all adds up. All of these tiny little steps that we're taking throughout the day, throughout the week, throughout the month, throughout the year, they're all adding up to create the world that we want, the world that we're focusing on, the world that we're manifesting. And to see everything unfold and add up and just the layers all add up, it's so satisfying for my little eyeballs, I will say, just to watch it all be done. And to see me, I look like I move so fast. It's not really that fast, but it feels like I move so fast. And so to see all of the detail, just, all of the tiny little brush strokes, which at times feel like endless. I have to make sure to move around. And honestly, that is kind of why I dance around when I paint, is because I don't want my back to seize up. I don't want to throw my back out. I don't want any sort of injury. So instead, I'm focusing on the movement. And yes, we can focus attention here, but we can also walk away. We can also shake it out a little bit. We don't just have to be solidly in this world. It's healthy to dabble in both, right? Whatever we're focusing on, and then the real world. Whatever we're focusing on, and then the real world. But it really is how our worlds are made, Entire worlds are just built layer by layer, step by step, brick by brick, if you're actually physically making a building. It's all of these, through the layers of all of this, manifestation is where we get these entire different worlds that we get to escape into. And so I'm here to tell you, no matter what your age is, no matter what time of day it is, dreams are not limited to any time. They are not limited to any age. Daydream. Daydream, you guys. Don't be afraid to daydream. Don't be afraid to take the time to imagine what you want. Right? Manifestation, visualization. It's imagining that you already have it, that it's already here. And I've mentioned before, higher faculties. Well, imagination, that is another one of our higher faculties. Imagination. The imagination to create worlds. If you're reading a book, you're able to take the words that are written on the page and you build entire worlds in your heads to follow along with the stories that are being read. Imagination. For those who are more logical, I was actually just hanging out with a really good friend of mine. I'm so pumped that I got to see her because it wasn't planned at all. And so I love it when that happens. And she's very logical. And so for her form of imagination is actually through logic. It's through learning. So the more that she learns, the more she's able to imagine in her head of what is possible. She likes to have the ground to stand on, like this is in existence. This is how we build houses, or this is psychology. This is what it is. And it allows her to expand her world in that way. So no, wherever you are, whoever you are, however you like to learn, however you like to expand and use your imagination, there's no one way. There's no right way. There's no wrong way. Just engage your imagination in whatever you feel is going to get you there. Whatever you feel is like, oh, I'm really using my mind. You could be learning about architecture and then you can say, oh, I want to build a tree house for my daughter. That could be you. You just never know what people are going to do with their imaginations. And it's so fun to see. I love creativity in all shapes and forms. That's why I do so many things, It's a great way to express yourself. It is also a great way to reap the benefits, of seeing all of your hard work add up and pay off. And so, let's give you a practice to go with imagination, because if we want to strengthen something just like a muscle, we do practice. We do practice rounds. We do practice reps. And so, when imagination, honestly, there's so many different things you can do. For me, you could even just scribble on a piece of paper and then from that scribble, try and find things in it. What is it? What does that scribble look like? Maybe hidden within the scribble, there's a dragon, or maybe hidden within the scribble, you see a face or a plant. There's all just from a scribble and not thinking about, just scribble. I just want to scribble. That's one thing you can do. to expand your imagination. You just have a piece of paper, just give it a little scribble. You know, doodling used to be one of my favorite things to do in high school. And honestly, it's still one of my favorite things to do. When I'm painting clouds, it reminds me of doodling. And so, you know, I just loved it though. Just like quick hand motions, just kind of shaking it out with a pen in there and then seeing what's there. And I used to get a lot of really funny characters too. I don't know, the noses used to just always be ginormous on some of these doodles that I would do. And I would think that they would look like my friends. And so I would name them and they'd be little comics. I know people say you're not creative and you can't think like that. You just have to do it. Like, I'm sorry, the art of war, or the war of art is what it is. You just have to show up and you just have to do it. That's how art gets done. And, you know, a very well-known artist was actually Andy Warhol. And Andy Warhol is famous quote is, or one of their famous quotes is that art is anything you can get away with. Anything you can get away with is art. And so see what you can get away with, honestly. Just see. And if scribbling's not for you, you don't want to do that, that's okay. We have other practices. Another practice is, calm clouds create. That's what I'm going to call this one. And you start by breathing, right? For 4 second in, 4 second out breath, find that balance. And then once you're settled, imagining that you're in the clouds, imagining that you're just floating in the clouds, and that when you're in the clouds, just like you're arriving. And you can even be on a plane. Let's say you're logical. You're on a plane. You're arriving to your destination. Your destination is your future, your desires, your goals of what it's like after you already have them. What is it like after you run that marathon? How do you feel? What is it like after you build that house? What is it like after you record that album? But just imagining, creating a world in your head where you already have what you want. By imagining that you already have it, we're engaging that law of attraction. We're bringing the things that we want towards us. And so don't be afraid to daydream. It's a practice. It's good for your brain. It's good for your imagination to be stimulated. So just keep on dreaming, dreamers. Ladybugs, dream on. And, maybe you're dreaming of a new pair of shoes. I love shoes. And I know we're trying to do not have, but when it comes to your feet, you want to be prepared. You want to have something that you love, that feels comfortable, that makes you feel good, that also strengthens you. And so maybe you're dreaming of some Xero shoes, the minimalist shoe with the wide toe box for your comfort and satisfaction. Seriously, I love them. You guys, I love them so much. And if you want to buy a pair for yourself to try them out and simultaneously pay me, you can by using my Xero affiliate link. That link is xeroshoes.com/go/Tyler the Lady. Now, don't forget, you guys, to like, rate, review, subscribe, and most importantly, share this here podcast. We grow community. We connect by sharing, by liking. Algorithms are weird. As a person who's not into algorithms and honestly not into social media or most media, algorithms are a wild thing that were invented, but that's what we're working with right now. And all we can do in today's age is work with what we've got. So by you liking, by you sharing, by you subscribing, we are just growing that ladybug community. So keep on keeping on, you guys. Thank you already for all of the likes, shares, subscribes that you have done. And if you want to follow me, you absolutely can. Like I said before, I've been putting those time lapses of my creations on there. I'm very excited about it. I'm so happy to share with you at Broadpoints or at Tyler the Lady. And if you'd like to email me, by golly, you can, friend. broadpointspodcast@gmail.com. Now, one more time with the fundamental phrase for the week. Stop and watch the clouds.